Alright, y'all, it's finally time. Finally time. We are finally gonna do the shiny Knight's Edge sword versus shiny Shadow Scythe. Holy smokes, that's a tongue twister. I'll probably put up the Shadow Scythe stats from the last video because we did do a Shadow Scythe versus dual daggers. And then we're just gonna test out all the Knight's Edge DPS and all that good stuff, and then we'll compare that. And then we will do a soloing Igris with the Knight's Edge and see how fast we can do that. So first up, let's start off with the DPS. So I'm gonna set a 1-minute timer, and then I'm gonna smack them for a full minute, and then we'll divide the amount of damage we did by 60, and that'll give us the damage per second. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, 40 seconds. $30 seconds. Halfway there. Alright, down to 20 seconds. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, so we'll take a look at that damage while I'm editing it, and then I'll put up the DPS on screen. Next up, we've got the Cursed Pierce ability. Alright, so the Cursed Pierce ability does have different stages that it goes through when you charge it. First, there's a uncharged stage where you can just launch an attack, and then when it comes back, I'll show you. You charge it, and then you get this sort of like circle around you. That's the first charge, and then in a second, you'll see the third charge. Boom, there it is. And I believe that's the only three stages that the ability has. So we're gonna test out all three and their damages, and we'll put that in the DPS. I forgot there actually is a dummy over here that is by itself. So we're gonna test it out over here. So let's do a full charge. $4.9? Really? Is that right? Let me try it again. Yeah, 4.9 for a fully charged. Is that the same as a... Yeah, oh, okay, so the third charge is purely for movement. The third charge does not add any damage. Wait. Am I wrong? Hold on. $6 million. $4.3. The Cursed Pierce ability's damage seems to be a little inconsistent with the second and third charges, but the first one is always the same, 1.8, and then the second one most of the time is hitting for 4.9. Yep, and then the third one, I think it's hit for like 6 million more often than not, but sometimes it does hit for less. And then another time I did hit for 7 million, I think it was. So not really sure what's going on with the third charge. See, that's, you see, look at that, it just did 7.3. It's just really inconsistent. So I think I'm just gonna go with the number I've seen the most, which is 6.2. Oh, around 6 million. So we'll just use that to calculate the DPS. Really quickly, I want to explain how we're calculating the ability DPS of the Knight's Edge, Curse Pierce. So we are taking the damage and then we are dividing that by the amount of time it takes for the cooldown to come back, which is 7 seconds. And we're also adding any animation length, and by animation length I mean like the amount of time it takes to charge the ability. So for example, the first one, it doesn't take any time, so we're just dividing the amount of damage we do by 7 seconds. And then for the second ability, it takes about a second to fully charge, so we're adding that to the amount of time it takes to get our ability back. So instead of dividing the amount of damage the second charge does and dividing that by 7, we're dividing that by 7 plus the amount of time it takes to charge it, which is 8 seconds, if that makes any sense. And for the third ability, it takes about around 4 seconds to fully charge it. So we're adding those 4 seconds to the 7 seconds that it takes for the ability to cool down, which is 11. So we're dividing the total damage we do while fully charged by 11 seconds. When I did Scythe versus daggers, I did the calculations wrong. That doesn't mean that the outcome changes. The Scythe is still better than the daggers, but the calculations are wrong on the DPS. So I'll put those up at the end to compare them with the Knight's Edge with the fixed values. But just keep that in mind. And we can actually test this theory, this DPS theory, by spamming N1s and charging the Cursed Pierce ability just to the first charge. So this one right here. So if we do that for a minute, let me set it up real quick. I've got my timer ready. If we do it for a minute, the DPS should be around 1.6 million. So let's test it out right now. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're about to be at 30 seconds. We're at 30 seconds now, so halfway through. We're only spamming F1, or F1. We're only spamming M1 and charging the ability to the first charge. And the result, the DPS should be around 1.6 million. So we got just a couple seconds left, 5 seconds left. And that's time. Time. Alright. So as you can see, we got 100 million as our DPS. So if we do the math real quick, I'm just going to do it on my phone really fast. So if we do 100 million divided by 60, you get 1,666,000 DPS, which is exactly what we calculated. So that's how you can tell that the calculations are actually right. So the ones from the previous video that I did are actually wrong, but don't worry, I will put up the correct DPS for the Scythe. All right, it's now time to solo Igris and see how fast we can do it. So let's head over to the raid. There he is. Dude doesn't know what's coming. He's got no idea. Wait a second, did I turn? Okay, we're good. All right, let's pop our Solar Decree for that bonus melee damage. And right off the bat, we're gonna hit him with our ability. Let's see how much damage. Boom! Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? That was half of his bar. That was half of his health bar. Oh my gosh. This guy's health bar is getting deleted. And the knockback on this sword is just insane. What the heck? Okay. Pop that bonus melee damage again. And then let's hit him with ability again. Boom! Oh my goodness. We breezed through that phase. Boom! Look at that! Oh my gosh! That's like half of his health. That's pretty much all of his health. Not all of it, but half of his bar, dude. Okay. Wait. Wrong button. Let's go. Bonus damage. And then we're gonna do it again. Boom! Oh my gosh! Dude! The burn proc is so inconsistent though. The burn proc on this is so inconsistent. He's got the effects. Oh yeah, he's got the burn. And it's doing, I think it was 160 something damage. Okay, let's do it again. Let's delete half of his health bar again. Boom! Oh my gosh, dude. This is just unfair. And look at our health. We're barely at half health. Let's go again. Boom! Oh my gosh. Oh. Hey, chill. Oh my gosh. He almost took us out. Alright, it's time for him to get out of here. Boom! Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That might be the fastest clear I have ever done. That might be the fastest Igris clear I have ever done. Holy smokes, dude. That is crazy. Jesus. Alright, we've got both the Knight's Edge and the Shadow Scythe stats up on the board. And you can see that the Knight's Edge M1 DPS is way higher than the Shadow Scythe at almost 1 million, while the Shadow Scythe is at almost 800,000. And then I don't think we're going to take account the ability damage. We're just going to look at the best DPS. For the Knight Edge best DPS, you're going to want to spam M1s and spam your Cursed Pierce ability, but only charge it up to the first charge. And just keep spamming that, and you'll get a DPS of around 1.6 million. And then for the Shadow Scythes, you want to be spamming all your abilities and your M1 whenever your abilities are down, and you'll get a DPS of around 1.2 million. And holy smokes, the Knight's Edge kills Igris in almost, oh no, not almost, a whole minute faster than the Shadow Scythe. At 1 minute and 43 seconds, and the Scythe takes 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Holy smokes, dude. So, I think we can easily conclude that the Knight's Edge sword is way better than the Shadow Scythe. Well, yeah, this took a lot of calculating and a lot of thinking. Oh, look, Genji's here again. What's up, Genji? But we finally did it. We fixed the DPS. We fixed the DPS calculations of the Shadow Scythe, so all the calculations should be correct. Real quick, I just wanted to thank all the viewers and subscribers. We recently passed 100 subscribers. Let's go! So thank you to everybody who comments and watches the videos, and I appreciate it a lot. So there you go. That was Shadow Scythe versus Knight's Edge. Knight's Edge wins, and who knows, maybe once I get the Rocket Sword, we'll do a Rocket Sword versus Knight's Edge and see how that goes. But that's it for this video. Peace!